Growing up in the country, I had a lot of room to get in trouble with my friends. One of my favorite stories was one of my best friends and I, Ethan Goss is his name, we decided that we wanted to make a potato launcher. And now, mind you, we have no idea or any experience at all with how to build or fire a potato launcher. So we know it involves vinegar and baking soda and also a tube. So we did our best. We taped a whole bunch of pieces together. We had this big long metal tube. We put it together to the best of our ability and to the best of our knowledge, which is nothing at all at this time. We were going to try and fire it out in the backyard. So we go outside, we get our potato, we get our baking soda, and we get our vinegar. We pour some baking soda in the bottom, and then we get our potato ready. We make sure it's all, ready to fit perfectly in the end of this thing, create a good seal, and then we pour our vinegar in. We slam the potato in. We wait for a minute. Nothing happens. So we're wondering, okay, like what happened here? So we yank our potato out, and we try it again. We fill it again, and all that stuff, and we realize we've got this maybe 4-foot tube. It must be the chamber is too large. We just don't have enough pressure to actually expel the potato out of the end of the launcher. So we take a bunch of paper towels and we stuff them down in the bottom. Mind you, there's still a whole bunch of baking soda and vinegar down at the bottom, like it's all just bubbled up and it's kind of this paste in the bottom of this thing. So the paper towels are soaking that up. They're getting rock hard. We're using a broomstick to pack the wadding into the back of this thing. We're just bad at design. So we try it again. We shove that potato in there. We have our ingredients and everything. Nothing happens. So finally, we kind of give up. We stop for the night and we're talking about it. We're having a sleepover, so he's staying at my house, and we're both down in the basement and we're conspiring with different ideas for how to make this thing work. You know what? Hey, why don't we just start over? Since we filled the entire bottom with paper towel, why don't we just burn it out? It's a metal tube, it'll be fine. That's our first dumb idea. We go outside, it's the middle of the night, it's maybe 3 o'clock in the morning. My parents are asleep, everyone in the family's asleep. We sneak outside, go out back, we pull out the potato launcher, and we're like, okay, we're throwing matches down to the bottom of it, and nothing's catching on fire. We can't burn that stuff out at all, so we need some way to ignite it. So we look over by the house, and there's these big gas cans out there. We pour some gas into the tube, immediately fills up about halfway, and we realize this is mixed with vinegar and baking soda. We can't just pour this back into the thing. We probably shouldn't just pour it into the ground, so let's just burn it off. And we have this tube, this metal tube now, filled with gasoline. We throw a match into the top of it, and it immediately puffs into flames, and we're surprised. It burns off some of our eyebrows. We're still holding the thing, and we're kind of freaking out at this point because we realize neither of us have gloves on. We don't have any method of putting the fire out, of holding on to the thing without it getting too hot, anything like that. And of course, it starts to get hot. When it starts to get hot, we juggle it between us, and we drop this pole. It hits the side of the house, and it sprays fuel and fire that sticks all along the side of the house. The house is now literally on fire. We both start to panic. I'm standing there. I remember freezing and just panicking in my head, not knowing what to do, seeing this ring of fire up on the wall of my parents' house. This is plastic siding, mind you, so the damage is already being done. I'm freaking out, and Ethan thinks quickly on his feet, and he runs inside because he knows that we have a mini fridge that's full of water bottles. So he grabs a ton of water bottles and he brings them out and he starts spraying water all over the thing, and we're both losing our minds. We're squirting this down as much as we can. I'm trying to swipe it off the wall. We've got a towel that I'm trying to smack it off the wall with, and it just keeps spreading down the wall, down the wall, down the wall. Eventually we start taking dirt and just throwing it at the fire. It actually puts it out. It was kind of a good idea, but an even better idea would have been for us to look at our feet, because we had a hose that was turned on sitting there that we could have just sprayed the entire thing out in a matter of seconds. The worst part is we put everything away, we try and cover it up as best we can. We realize there's black char marks all over the wall of the siding. My parents are definitely going to find out. So, to try and fix the situation, Ethan and I both go inside and we search for cans of spray paint. And we look through this, this thing of spray paint, and we find a few cans of white Kills spray paint. So we run outside, we spray it all up, we realize we're good to go, and we go back to bed. At maybe 9:30 the next morning, we hear the door at the top of the stairs open up, and my mom yells for me. Apparently, she had scheduled a siding cleaning for that day. So there was a guy that was coming over to inspect the siding in particular to make sure that he could clean everything that was there and there were no like weird things going on, like a big giant burn patch that had been covered up with white Kills spray paint. He immediately pointed it out. My mom knew nothing about it, and Ethan and I were grounded for months.